Hello, everyone, and this is Gary Maloney here for Sactownslam. And boy, there is a lot of news going and floating around today. So I will start with a my first comment since I have not been around for a while, and that is just a few minutes on Battleground, which was the absolute shittiest pay per view we have seen in and most likely of 2017. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go through all the semantics of it, considering everyone else has already, but look at the matches you booked. You had John Cena versus Rusev in a flag match. Like, we don't already know who the winner is going to be there. You had a Punjabi prison match with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. I'm going to tell you right now, I knew that in some way Jinder was going to win that match, given the fact that it was a Punjabi prison match, number one. And number two, I don't know how the hell the Singh brothers got in there, but that match, and then the great Khali comes walking down with his fucking buggy whip arms and his non talented body just to choke Randy Orton and make, even though he jumped like a freaking cat from one area of the ring, which was completely closed off since all four doors had been closed, to another area of the ring. Well, why the hell didn't you just do that? I mean that I will never understand the Punjabi prison match rules completely. But what we do know now is that the word structure was used 62 times to describe that match. Boo. And then there were just some pointless matches like Mike Kanellis and Sami Zayn. That's like, how much 50-50 booking are we going to get in this year? Not to mention, you have AJ Styles win the US title, then you hand it back over to Kevin Owens during Battleground, then you have AJ Styles win it tonight, and now you're going to have another match which between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens because of some bad reffing at SummerSlam. I mean, give me a break. I mean, rubber matching is fun, but not when it's everyone. Give me a match that's original. Um. Anyway, in short, Battleground was just the biggest shit stain on WWE television in quite some time. I mean, we have not seen a pay per view this bad in a very long time. I mean, 2017. I mean, even that fatal five-way for the women was just terrible. And I mean, it was like it lacked dominance, especially coming out of a Money in the Bank match where Carmella is the Money in the Bank champion. The importance of it, I just don't think was there. And I don't know why you keep trying to shove Alana into situations that she's obviously not prepared for. Lana needs to go to NXT for a year at least and train because Lana does not know how to wrestle. I mean, give me a break. Maurice knows how to wrestle better than Lana, and that's sad. Anyway, it was bad and it was terrible and the pay-per-view, it was so bad, I wouldn't even want to show it if I had a network of it. Anyway, let's move on to Monday Night Raw. This past Monday, unfortunately, did see Bayley suffering an injury on Monday night to Nia Jax. And this is from WWE's official website. And I'm going to read this verbatim because it's important. During her match with Nia Jax on July 31st edition of Monday Night Raw, Bayley suffered an injury to her right shoulder. The former Raw Women's Champion was evaluated by medical personnel, but the official diagnosis was inconclusive due to the amount of swelling involved. In other words, they couldn't tell right off the bat, like they did with Finn Balor, what was up with her shoulder, which might actually be a good thing. Bayley has been told to rest the shoulder until next week, at which point doctors are hopeful that the swelling will have sufficiently gone down so that she may be reevaluated and a firm verdict can be reached. Everything just tensed up around it, Bayley told WWE.com shortly after her match on Monday night. I've never had an injury like this before, so I can't really know what it is. I guess we're going to see. Dr. Chris Amon, the guy who told Daniel Bryan that he cannot wrestle again, boo, you suck. We've determined the injury is shoulder related and she will be going under further diagnosis testing later this week, blah, 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 blah. Basically, they don't know what's going on with Bayley. But she might be injured, she might not. But if she is injured, she may very well miss SummerSlam, which may mean they may fast track the Nia Jax angle, in which that might make for a more interesting, plot, but I don't think it makes for a more interesting match. I think that Bayley she's ready, and she's ready to go. She's ready to do what she needs to do to get her title back, and that makes for a way more interesting story than, oh, I'm Nia Jax. I'm gonna beat you up by giving you a Hogan leg drop. Yeah. Nia Jax is a very powerful wrestler, but she lacks a good move set. And I'm just gonna say that right now. She lacks a very good and powerful move set. So it just is, it's disappointing. What I'm not understanding here, especially in this women's division, is why there isn't more competition. I mean, maybe not. But anyway, let's start with Monday Night Raw. So, SummerSlam is August 20th. So Brock Lesnar came out and threatened to leave the company if he lost the Fatal 4-Way match. And, it was very brief. He came out and that was it. It's like, I'm going to be a little crybaby, and if I don't win the championship, I just go to the USADA testing pool and go back to UFC. You ain't got no future in UFC. What do you think you're going to do in UFC at 40 years old, you old fart? Give me a break. Most guys in UFC are half your freaking age and could kick your ass upon being unleashed. It's like you have at least 10 years left in WWE. Use it. abuse it. But don't sit there and waste our time with thinking, oh God, we're going to lose Brock Lesnar. Good. Go. See if WWE takes your sorry ass back for a third time. Anyway, after that, Roman Reigns battles his way past both Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman, and the Miz and that just turned into a big fight, which was more of a precursor to the three-way that they were going to have later on that night. Anyway, the Miz and Jason Jordan kicked off what was the key to the emerging star. And the big thing about that was that, they sat there and the Miz was talking crap about Kurt Angle to Jason Jordan. Here's the thing. I think if he starts off with an Intercontinental title reign, that would be huge for Jason Jordan. If he takes that title off The Miz and keeps it off The Miz, that would be a big, big plus for him. So I like this move because I just, if you're not going to use Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title, which I do think he deserves it more so than Jason Jordan, but obviously that's not where they're going. So personally, Jason Jordan, I think, would be a great touch of youth in that part of the division, because it seems like the Intercontinental title division is so filled with old people. So I think that this is a make or break situation for him. If it works out, there's probably no glass ceiling for this guy. If it does not work out, then he's gonna end up being bottom of the barrel probably by the end of the year, which, they may recreate American Alpha if that is the case. Anyway, after this, it was interesting. You had the Hardy Boys versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. And Matt and Jeff had the edge early on as they took turns on Carl Anderson. The club gained control by slowing the pace down and beating up on Jeff, and then momentum continued to shift back and forth. The Hardy Boys emerged the victors thanks to a swanton. Near the announce desk, the Revival and the Hardys brawled, and then Anderson and Gallows leapt into the fray. Granted, the Hardys won, but they also got the crap beat out of them. And there were some pretty funny quotes. We're undefeated against the Hardys. That's how legendary they are, from Dash Wilder. It's like, ooh, boy. Talk about getting smashed by a noob. I mean, that's funny. And then it was great. It does seem like we're headed towards a 6-man tag team title bout with these three teams. And the reason why is because there are no other teams. I mean, WWE has systematically been tearing apart every tag team that they have. Obviously, I'm not sure what their plans are for Sheamus and Cesaro, but I think it's time for them to unleash that. Then you had TJP, Tony Nese, and Arya Davari versus Rick Swan, Cedric Alexander, and Akira Tozawa. Um, uh, Typical six-man crap for the cruiserweight division. Let's just shove everyone in from 205 Live into the cruiserweight match. It was okay, yeah, but it wasn't great. The way it ended was uh, Tozawa won courtesy of a swanton bomb, which didn't look too bad. But I will say this much, these six-man matches really do have to stop. If you're going to emphasize the cruiserweights, emphasize the cruiserweights. And emphasize different cruiserweights. Where's my Grand Metaliks? You know? I'm really, it's starting to seem like there's only 7 or 8 cruiserweights in that whole division. And I know for a fact that there's way more. Like, there needs to be, like, one of the funny things that they said on Bring It to the Table yesterday was that Enzo, if Enzo and Cass are going to split up, that Enzo could be a candidate for 205 Live. I thought it was stupid at first, but the more I think about it, it's either that or be a manager, and WWE doesn't really like managers. I mean, look what happened with Lana. So, I'll be honest, maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, and honestly, if you take, you know, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and stick them in the cruiserweight division, that wouldn't be so bad either. I also am a firm believer that the cruiserweight division should be allowed to wrestle people outside the division. That way you're not, committing career suicide, which is essentially why people didn't want to probably sign in the first place to this division, because oh my gosh, you're a cruiserweight, you have to wrestle other cruiserweights. Nah, 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 nah. Who cares? Who cares what weight class you are in? Let people wrestle other people. If you're going to be like that, you might as well shove everyone under 205 pounds in the cruiserweight division. Tards. Anyway, next match was Seth Rollins versus Sheamus. Now, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins recalled their tag team match from the previous week. The Lunatic Fringe, though, remained distrustful of his old ally. Rollins later ran into Cesaro and Sheamus backstage. The champs bragged about their unity and success. Rollins challenged the 2 European bruisers to a fight, and Sheamus accepted. In the ring, Rollins' speed gave him an early advantage. With the help of distracting Cesaro, Sheamus floored the babyface soon after. The 2 men traded blows in a battle of power versus agility. Rollins rolled up the Celtic Warrior for a 3 count. And then Cesaro and Sheamus beat the crap out of him in response. And then Ambrose eventually rushed in and clashed with the champs, which ended up leading to Dean Ambrose getting, unfortunately, Brogue kicked right in the face. I could see this also being a match at, obviously, SummerSlam, because the Miz Taraj, they're not the it thing just yet. give him a month or two. Let him go through the fall. I think I like the transition that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel are making. Axel is a former IC champ, but he has really been buried, and so is Bo Dallas. I mean, Bo Dallas, man, I don't know what the hell he is anymore. Looks like a fucking son of anarchy or some shit. But he's like there went from believing Bo to gangsta motherfucker. You know what I mean? I just don't know where they're going with Bo Dallas. I don't think even Bo Dallas knows where he's going with Bo Dallas. But what I do know is that they are really trying hard to get Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to trust, or Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose to trust each other. Now, one of the things that's been going on around WWE and that's been talked about is a reunion of the Shield. And I want to give you just a really quick opinion on this. Number one, idiots from Bring It to the Table like JBL think, oh, Roman Reigns doesn't need the Shield. Roman Reigns made himself outside of the Shield. Horseshit. If it weren't for being in the Shield to begin with, Roman Reigns would be nothing. And believe you me, Roman Reigns needed the Shield as a fucking platform to make him what he is. And if you think that going back to the Shield wouldn't make him more popular, just listen to the response he got the day after WrestleMania. People weren't sharing his name. They were saying, fuck you, Roman. I mean, come on. I have to be perfectly honest with you. A Shield reunion would help Roman in leaps and bounds. And I think a good, short-lived Shield reunion where they all walk away amicably would be a good thing for the three of them. It would boost ratings for Raw, which they desperately need. And it would give people something to care about. I mean, forget the fact that people just have lost interest in Raw to begin with. But the fact that he is not the guy. The guy right now on Raw, personally, that's between Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. And maybe Jeff Hardy. Because Jeff Hardy has his spot monkey addiction, which, he can do quite well. We'll see which one is the guy by the end of this calendar year, because it sure as hell isn't going to be Roman. I mean, especially when you have sort of turn around and have John Cena be a free agent. Kind of screams Raw needs help, don't it? Anyway, then you had Bray Wyatt and the segment with Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. Short and sweet, because I want to, speed this up. This was basically Bray Wyatt calling out Finn Balor. And, oh, my brother, I will tell you about the evil spirit of JoJo and the bizarre adventure I went on with her. 'Cause I like ho-hos, 'cause they have cream filling. But you're a demon who won't show up in your face paint no more because WWE had to make financial cutbacks. Follow the script! Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. The most incredible part about this was when the lights started flashing red, because I honestly thought we were going to see Demon Balor. And then freaking Balor comes out standing all like this, and then just beats the shit out of Bray Wyatt. I mean, yay, but why do I care? I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, this wasn't even a match. Obviously, this is a precursor to a SummerSlam match. So, my guess here is that that's what this is all about, is leading up to SummerSlam. And I'm okay with build, but, I hope that this build continues and isn't just a one-off, because Bray Wyatt seems to be all over the place between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, so just pick one. And that's how I feel right now with Bray Wyatt. Then you had Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman versus Samoa Joe. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Why the hell was this not the main event? I mean, this, in my opinion, should have been the main event. You have these three names, and you're trying to tell me that Roman Reigns is your guy, and this isn't even your main event? Give me a break. Your main event for this Raw was Big Cass versus Big Show? Yeah, obviously Buck Teeth didn't get the memo that Roman Reigns is the guy. Way to go, Kevin dumbass. Anyway, there were video packages for all three guys before they came out. Just like, look at me, I'm a tough guy. Those kind of packages, which, admittedly, Braun Strowman's was pretty good. But with the way the match started, the Bruisers fought into the stands and outside of the ring. This was a triple threat, so that means no DQ, no count out. No one was able to dominate for long. Strowman had control of the bout, but gave way to Joe, who eventually fell victim to Strowman. Reigns climbed out of a human wreckage to knock Strowman out of the ring and club Joe with a spear. And one of the things that happened was that Roman Reigns got a Superman punch on Braun Strowman, and he did that thing where he jumps off the steps and hits someone with the Superman punch, like he's fucking Superman. Then Joe was still in the middle of the ring after having been beat up by Strowman. Then he jumped in, and then, Roman Reigns just rolled into the ring. Joe had finally gotten up, and then he speared Joe, and then got a 3 count on Joe. Reigns won via pinfall, and this was really a pay-per-view caliber bout that was made for TV. And I agree with that. And I know that they wanted to give us what we want. My fear with this, though, are you foreshadowing SummerSlam? Are you trying to tell us Roman Reigns is going to win? Because if you're telling us Roman Reigns is going to win, I'm not watching SummerSlam. Garbage. Joe should be your champ. Period. Anyone that can put fear into Brock Lesnar should be your champ. Period. If Mr. USADA testing pool is going to walk away and say, well, I don't want to be your champ anymore, because if I lose, I'm going to leave WWE. Good. Go. We don't give a shit. Because we have a Joe, we have a Strowman, and we have a lot of other people that are a lot smaller that are much, much better. And personally, it disgusts me to no degree that, Brock Lesnar wasn't even at ringside or anything commentating for this. It makes me feel like maybe he doesn't give a shit, because under normal circumstances, even if it were women during these type of matches, they're usually at ringside talking crap about the other opponents. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the game is with Brock Lesnar, but whatever. Anyway, then you had Elias Sampson versus Kalisto. Probably my favorite part of the show. I am beginning to love Elias Sampson. And and Elias Sampson, just when he was singing, it was like talking about how Pittsburgh was the pits, and then just every song that he sings, I mean, whether it sounds good or not, it gets him real heel heat, not Roman Reigns the day after WrestleMania heat. So he fought Kalisto in what was a really short match where he beat the ever loving crap out of Kalisto. But I think that they're trying to get him used to fighting against different styles. And I respect that. But at the same time, I feel like he is capable of more. I just think they're waiting for that opportunity to let him do so. I think that the Intercontinental title is obviously well beyond this guy right now, but I like it. They need to get him in a feud, because I think Finn Balor was a bit overzealous as a feud for Elias Sampson. Although clubbing him over the head with a freaking guitar was definitely an exclamation point, and that'll probably come into play at some point. But yeah, I mean, Finn Balor has so many scores to settle, and I hope he gets a chance to settle them. That's all I've got to say. But for the most part, I'd say that this match was definitely, it was decent. It was definitely decent. So on we go to the next portion of Raw. Which, of course, was of course, yeah, there's another thing that they talked about with Elias Sampson, too. He's just being called Elias. I feel like they talk about how Elias acquired his scarf, a tale that didn't, and it didn't do anything for Elias Sampson. It just, Elias Sampson should have remained the Drifter, you tards, and he's like the homeless hobo singing country songs and the guy who had to go through a lot of pain and misery through life. That's it. That's your backstory. That's why you're a heel, because your life was shit. You know? Why does it have to be some elaborate storyline? It doesn't. This isn't Days of Our Lives. This is pro freaking wrestling. Just let it be. Let it be organic. Elias Sampson's story, The Drifter, El Bagamundo, was so freaking organic in NXT, and you're trying to make him something he is not. Let it be. Then you had Nia Jax versus Bayley. As I reported earlier, she injured her shoulder. Um, Essentially, Bayley won via countout because I think this had something to do with her shoulder. So Nia Jax, they did that little stunt where she runs after Bayley. Bayley ducks into the ring, and then Nia Jax ran into the freaking stairs. And she was also, but at the time, she was actually facing, so, she got the 10 count, and Alexa Bliss, came out, and she was just, Bayley even managed to fight her off. So Bayley came out of this looking like a G, but I'm just hoping it wasn't too little too late for the Valley Girl. So that just, it just, they were trying to do the right thing, here, but let's just hope it wasn't too little too late. Then you had your main event, which was Big Cass versus Big Show. Cass ended up winning via disqualification because Enzo Amore jumped in the ring and tried to beat him up. So, and the whole point was to beat him up. And I just, it's, even the Bleacher Report right here was saying it's not clear why WWE would save this for the main event slot. The triple threat match would have been a far more empathetic way to cap off the show. Cough, cough. This was a mid-card narrative shoved onto the marquee. There wasn't much added to this feud here. This was essentially a repeat of their recent showdowns. Duh. So it just goes to show you that those types of things are just lame. Lame. So it was what it was, but it wasn't very good. I mean, I don't get the whole point of having Cass versus Enzo or Cass versus Big Show, and then to have Enzo just come in and interfere. Like, what was the point of the match? Why have that match at all? Uh, okay. Excuse me, my phone is not giving me a. There we go. Now, Smackdown, which was a much, much more interesting show, to be fair. So, and this is coming from Wrestling Inc. Now, tonight's WWE SmackDown opened up with a hype for the United States title match and the big number one contenders match. and it was Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Now, we go right to the ring, and out comes the new champ, AJ Styles, and then Kevin Owens came out. They did the formal ring introduction where, they've been doing this a lot more lately. I've noticed with championship matches because people are starting to rip off the Brits in the United States. And, like, for instance, and this match set for one fall, and then everyone in the background is like, one fall. If you watch the UK tournament, those guys invented that shit. I am not even kidding. I mean, that is the epitome of a culture adaptation of pro wrestling from one, culture to another. And we definitely learned that one from the United Kingdom. Anyway, fans chant AJ as the bell rings and they lock up. Owens goes with a headlock. They trade holds and go back and forth. Owens drops AJ with the shoulder for a 2 count. They go on the run with the ropes, but Owens avoids a drop kick. Owens ends up sending AJ out to the floor as fans boo. Owens follows and hits a clothesline to the floor. Owens talks trash and looks down at AJ as they go to a commercial. Back from the break, and Owens drops AJ with a boot for another 2 count. Owens takes his time with AJ, allowing AJ to connect with a drop kick. AJ turns it around and hits chops to the corner now. AJ keeps control and drops a big knee for a 2 count as Owens grabs the bottom of the rope. AJ controls and hits a suplex for 1 count. AJ stomps away in the corner now while Owens is down. Owens looks to turn it around, but AJ gets boots up in the corner. Owens avoids a phenomenal forearm and gets to the floor for a breather. AJ launches himself from the ring to the floor, taking Owens down with a forearm. AJ charges out, but Owens sidesteps and sends AJ into the barrier. Owens with a corner cannonball against the barrier. Owens grabs AJ, and we go back to another commercial. Back from break, and Styles is making a comeback. Styles with the fireman's carry neck breaker for a 2 count. Owens blocks a Styles clash. AJ charges but gets dumped onto the apron. AJ with a shot to the face. AJ springboards in for another phenomenal forearm attempt, but Owens avoids it. Owens drops AJ with a super kick for a close 2 count. Owens argues with the referee. AJ blocks a pop-up power bomb and gets the calf crusher applied, but Owens grabs AJ's hair and breaks it with a headbutt. Styles misses from the top. Owens goes for the power bomb again, but AJ slides out and nails a Pele kick. Owens blocks a Styles clash, but AJ counters and gets the calf crusher applied again. Owens makes it to the bottom rope and breaks the hold. Owens ends up hitting 2 big mule kicks to AJ, sending him to the mat. Owens swings at AJ, but the referee gets knocked down, which is important. Owens hits a super kick on AJ. Owens looks for another pop-up power bomb, but AJ hits him up for the win. The winner, AJ Styles. Now, AJ retains, apparently, for the moment. Here's the thing, and this was something that JBL said on Bring It to the Table. somebody was complaining about how certain matches from SmackDown should have been on uh, uh, Battleground. And they're like, why are the fans complaining about great matches? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm not complaining about great matches. AJ versus Owens is almost always a great match. My complaint is that you keep giving us great matches with fuck finishes. Like, why did the referee have to get smacked in the eye and not have a legit finish and have Owens' shoulder be up, but yet have him count 3? It's ridiculous. I don't want to see this match again at SummerSlam, but we're going to see it. It's already been made, which is stupid. I mean, why can't Owens just be out of the U.S. title picture for a while? Let somebody else get into it. What is Owens going to be all butthurt because he's not the face of America anymore? You're friggin' Canadian. Get over it. Fucktard. But honestly, it just, to me, I'm getting tired of this repetitious rubber match stuff. I think it's time that we make champions and we make new stars and let the old stars be, have a chance to be out of circulation. Earn it. Earn it. You didn't earn anything. I'm tired of people like Lana and Kevin Owens saying, oh, but my shoulder was up, but they still counting 3. Yeah. Well, guess what? No one cares. Because either you're supposed to win or you're not supposed to win. We all know this stuff is scripted. But there's only so many times we can actually see a match and care about it. That's the issue idiots like JBL don't get. Like, tonight we saw Shinsuke Nakamura versus John Cena, which I'll get to for a minute. Would I want to see the second time? Sure. But do I want to see the third or a fourth time, especially in the span of 2 months? No. Because then it gets boring. Give me a break. Anyway, then after the match, Kevin Owens went on a rampage, destroyed the catering section, and it's like, I want my rematch. Eric Cartman decided to be like, no, Kenny, that's my papa. That's my papa. Yeah. And so, they're going to let him have a match, and Shane's going to be the special referee, which I'd rather see a McMahon in that capacity than Triple H be a freaking whore that takes up a spot. So, I can live with that. Then we had a segment with the Usos, which that was actually really funny. And the Usos, they pretended to be the New Day coming out. They did their little rap thing, It's not paranoia, it's the Usos. Basically, it's to build up heat, essentially, for them. It's okay. I mean, I like their gimmick, their whole Uso penitentiary, and they were out there rapping. I don't remember every single word, but I will give them this. I'm believing in the one day is H thing. I like it. They're doing incredibly great work. I mean, in my opinion, it should have been the Fashion Police to take the titles off of them, not the New Day. I don't really see where the appeal of the New Day is right now and why the hell they need titles, because they're so popular to begin with. But whatever. do what you will, but that is my opinion. That is why I'm here, to give you my opinion on logic. But the Usos, I hope they do get their titles back at SummerSlam, and B, the work that they're doing, they almost deserve to break the streak that the New Day had, and that would bring some importance to the SmackDown tag titles, even though there's no damn division on SmackDown either. But that's another, rant for another problem. Then you had the Fashion Files, which, again, hilarious. Do I think that this is going to last forever? Probably not, considering that they're making asses now of both the Fashion Police and the Ascension. I mean, the Ascension don't even do anything anymore. They're just idiots. They look like idiots working for the Fashion Police. I mean, seriously? You don't have anything better for the Ascension to do but be in stupid skits? I mean, this was the Fashion Police's thing, if I'm not mistaken. So where the hell did the Ascension come in? I just feel like they're biting off of what they're doing, and I don't know. I just don't like it. I think the Ascension need to kind of find their own gimmick. But I like the part that they're just messing with every cop show that's ever been created. They need to do Person of Interest next. But I personally feel like Breezango, they know what they're doing. They do. And I think that in that sense, they know what they're doing with Breezango. What they don't know what they're doing with is the Ascension, and that is very sad given that they were the longest NXT tag champs in history. So, as far as Breezango goes, though, these guys are really popular, especially on the internet. There comes a point where if you don't give people the ball to run with, they aren't going to be stars. And I think Breezango are really in that category right now. I think the Usos have done good work. They carried the titles with dignity. They're great stars. I think that the New Day, they are great stars, but they should also be creating great stars. I don't think they should be the champs. I don't. They don't need the championships. They are champions. So, with or without belts, I feel like those belts need to be on people that need to have a central focus on them. Not that they should be giving belts to people that don't deserve it, but I think Breezango have proven themselves junk fighters in the ring, and that they've proven themselves decent people on the mic. I think that they built stars that WWE may not have been ready for. For whatever reason, I think SummerSlam is a great place to give them the titles. You notice that they have not mentioned who's going to be in the title match. People are just assuming. Now, could it be a 6-man? Possibly. But I don't see it being that way. I see them more than likely not even being on the card, that being the Fashion Police or the Ascension. But I don't think that's really fair to the Fashion Police. I mean, come on. Put them in a match. I love the Fashion Files too, but DX wasn't all gimmicks. They had their time in the sun, so I think it's time to do that for the Fashion Police. It's not fair to them. Then after that, of course, mm, and you know, I love the skit. Don't get me wrong. I think, oh geez, yeah. Then you had Aiden English versus Sami Zayn. There's nothing to talk about here. They have been burying Sami Zayn for so long. It's like, why the hell do I want to see Aiden English beat people? Just retire, Aiden English. Go to fucking TNA where you belong because you suck and your gimmick sucks. And Sami Zayn is a way better wrestler who's been in the ring with way the fuck better talent than you. So I don't get why you're burying Sami Zayn and why you're throwing Mike Kanellis with his "I'm gonna make out with my wife" sessions in the middle of the ring. But you know, Mike Bennett can just bite me because, quite frankly, I'm tired of the way they're burying Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is also someone that deserves a title. I mean, give him the U.S. title. I think the U.S. title, like, I don't get why AJ and Kevin Owens are even in the U.S. division. Like, they are so beyond U.S. title. Like, that is not that is a title, the U.S. title. Let's call a mid card title for a reason. And you have top card guys battling for a mid card title. I don't understand that. Boy, if my freaking phone goes off snap again, I'm gonna snap the thing in half. Thankfully, we're almost through this review. Then, of course, you had a tag team match with Natalya and Carmella versus Naomi and Becky Lynch. And honestly, wasn't too much to look at. It was basically the biggest spots were Natalya locking in the sharpshooter on Naomi, and then you had Carmella lock in whatever she calls her headlock in on also on Naomi, but she also but it was countered into the headlock, and then Natalya tried to come in and break up the headlock, and then Becky Lynch went in and broke it, and then took her and did one of those Bexploder suplexes or whatever, threw her out of the ring, and then that was that. And basically Naomi and Becky Lynch won. So that pretty much ended that. Then after that match, you saw Jinder Mahal go up with the Singh brothers into a skybox so that he could watch the match. Then you had another interesting match, which was Rusev versus Chad Gable. Now, in this match, there honestly is no winner because if from the beginning, it's like if Rusev loses, then Rusev loses more credibility. If Chad Gable loses, then Chad Gable loses more credibility. And it was just kind of a sad. It was sad because the match was so great. And you could tell by the look on Rusev's face, especially after Chad Gable had just. It, okay. it's like Chad Gable continued to lock up with Rusev, even though Rusev kept tossing Chad Gable off of him. And they went to a break. And then back from the break, Gable hits a big belly-to-back suplex on Rusev. He keeps it held, but Rusev breaks the hold with a headbutt. Gable comes right back with a big German suplex and holds it for a 2 count. Gable goes to the top for a moonsault, but Rusev cuts him off. More back and forth. Rusev misses and hits the corner. Gable goes back to the top and nails another moonsault, but Rusev kicks out at 2. Gable waits for Rusev to get up and tells him to bring it. Rusev is dazed and slow to get to his feet. Gable runs Rusev into a corner and rolls him up, going right into another German attempt, but it's countered. This leads to the flooring of Gable with a big kick. Gable still kicks out at 2. Rusev shows frustration. Rusev yells out and stomps on Gable's back. Rusev goes for the accolade, but Gable avoids it and then reverses it into an ankle lock in the middle of the ring. Rusev turns the ankle lock and turns out of the ankle lock and kicks Gable out of the ring. Gable runs right back into the ring. Rusev nails a super kick and then applies the accolade and it taps. I'm going to be honest here. I really, really, really hope this is not the last time we see those two in the ring. That was an amazing match. That was a guy who is 6'0" going up a guy who's 7 feet tall, and the dude just like it was amazing. And I couldn't believe how incredible that was. I mean, that match that I did not expect much out of became one of my favorite of the night. I would say just because it did have a legit ending, it certainly added to things. It made things a bit better for me that night. But I just feel like it would have been better if Gable had won. But, these are two guys who both need it. Just like on Raw between Elias Sampson and Kalisto. Both guys needed it. But it was what it was. Then you had the number 1 contenders match between John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We go to the ring for the main event. The WWE champion, blah, 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 is watching from the skybox. Okay. Nakamura with some showing off early on. Cena comes back with some taunting. They go at it, and Nakamura takes him to the corner. Cena is confused by Nakamura's antics, i.e. going up to the stomach and doing this bullshit. And just, Nakamura is playing some cat and mouse with him. And the fans do the dueling Cena chants, Cena sucks, let's go Cena. Nakamura turns it around and stops Cena with a headlock. They run to the ropes and show each other up again. Nakamura tells Cena to bring it. Come on! And then Cena attacks, but Nakamura drops him into the corner with an enziguri. Nakamura with some good vibrations in the corner. And then Cena comes back with his right hand. Cena sends Nakamura to the corner and charges, but Nakamura moves. Cena catches a kick and drives Nakamura to the mat for a 2 count. Cena has Nakamura grounded with a headlock now. Back to commercial, back from the break, and Nakamura fights. Backdropping Cena with a kick. We see Jinder and the Singh brother, blah, 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 blah. Nakamura with more kicks to Cena, sending him back to the mat. Nakamura charges in the corner with a shot to the gut, and Nakamura takes Cena and places him on top. Nakamura runs with a high knee and covers for another 2 count. Cena makes his comeback with the usual moves as some fans boo. Cena calls for a 5-knuckle shuffle as boos continue. Cena takes his time and Nakamura stops the "you can't see me." And boy, I'm really sick of this phone going snap on me. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Nakamura takes Cena and places him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, gesture, catching Cena in an armbar. Cena fights it. Cena ends up powering and putting Nakamura on his shoulders. Nakamura avoids an attitude adjustment and drops Cena again. Nakamura waits in the corner as Cena is slow to get up. Cena counters the Kinshasa and applies the STF in the middle of the ring, which, FYI, that looked beautiful. Nakamura gets out of the STF and applies a cross arm breaker, which also looked beautiful. Cena gets out of that and covers for a pin attempt. Nakamura kicks out, but Cena levels him with a big clothesline, which flipped him over. You know, those clotheslines where people, if you slow it, people flip over. This is one of those. We see blah, 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 blah. Cena gets up, but Nakamura drops him and connects with a big left knee. Nakamura waits in the corner again. Cena sidesteps and nails him with an attitude adjustment. Nakamura kicks out just in time. Cena can't believe it as we get a replay. Cena goes for another AA, but Nakamura turns it into a guillotine in the middle of the ring. More back and forth. Nakamura plants Cena on the back of his neck. Nakamura nails the Kinshasa for a pin and the SummerSlam title shot. FYI, there were 2 AAs being done, and then Nakamura escaped and hit him with a Kinshasa. This was a great match for everything that it was. It did look like Cena knew what he was doing with strong style, and it looked like Nakamura looked like he knew what he was doing. Nakamura had said in the past that one of his dream matches would be against John Cena. I think that having Cena win the WWE title from Jinder Mahal might have been a better move. I think that if what I have heard is correct, the idea is because so many fans hate Jinder Mahal, and not for the right reasons, as the champ, because he has a shitty move set, and this whole Punjabi thing just feels so forced. It really does. So, especially to a guy that was playing to air guitar a year and a half ago. So, personally, I think that a lot of people did not want Cena to win that one. This may be Cena's last chance at a WWE title in 2017, potentially. But I'm just guessing that. I don't know that for a fact. But the guess on a lot of different websites and podcasts are that what's going to happen is Shinsuke is going to beat Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, and then Corbin's going to cash in on Shinsuke because they have unfinished business. So my guess is that if that is true, then you can bet your ass you're going to see some kind of triple threat the following month. So, be that as it may, though, I think Shinsuke and John Cena was a good match. This has been a very stark contrast to the SmackDowns that we've seen over the last few weeks, where it felt like they were just kind of going through the motions. So hopefully these things aren't going to be a problem in the future. So, that is it for me, and I will hopefully be back with another podcast in the by next week. So for now, I'm Gary Maloney, and I am